Hello, calculus class. Welcome to AP Summer Course, Part 2. We're going to look at the graphing calculator. So the first topic, this video, is evaluating numerical expressions, which just means getting the answer to an expression. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to cover is the order of operations. It's important to know that on your calculator, the order is done a little bit differently than you would do it in your normal math class. However, the first one is just like you would normally do it. You would do inside the parentheses first, and inside the parentheses you would do the multiplication, then the addition, and then you would evaluate the exponent and then multiply by 5. If you plug that into your calculator just like that, it would do it just right. Okay? The problems that we have are usually with sines and cosines, and that's because they're known as a prefix function. That means it's a function that comes before the parentheses, and in this case, prefix functions are done right after the parentheses. So the pi over 2 would be calculated, then the sine would be taken, and after that, the square would happen. Okay, so prefix functions comes next. The 2 is a postfix function, which comes third. So the prefix functions are a little unusual. The 5 right here is just multiplied by whatever's inside the parentheses, so it's not a prefix function. But the sine is a function like the absolute value. We might use that. The absolute value is a prefix function. It sort of looks like a word in front of the parentheses. Always gets done right after the parentheses get done. The postfix function are the ones that are come after the parentheses, like the 2 is postfix here. So in this case, the 3 is multiplied, that's just multiplication, but the e has a postfix function, e raised to a power. So first of all, we would do the parentheses, and then the e would get raised to that power. So that's what your calculator would do. It would figure that 4/5, raise e to that power, and then multiply by 3. So that was a quick review of the order of operations. Now we're going to look at exponents and roots. On your calculator, you have some buttons here for exponents. So say if I wanted to raise 4 to the second power, you probably know how to do that. You could just hit 4x squared. That's easy. If you want to raise 4 to the third power, there's a couple of ways to do it. I like to use the math key. So math has a third power there, number 3. So math 3. And that way it actually looks a little bit better on your paper. It's easy. For math 3 is 4 cubed. Enter, that's 64. I want to raise, if I want to take the cube root of 4, I could do that. I have to enter the cube root first, and under math, the math menu, I have the cube root right there, number 4. So I hit 4, and that's the cube root of whatever comes next. So that is a 4, and enter, and that's the cube root of 4. I could also take the 4th root of 4. So in this case, if we look at that number 5, there's an x that takes the xth root, any root of 5, or any root of whatever I want. So I'm going to use that. In order to do that, I'm going to quit this, and I'm going to enter the 4 first. I'm going to take the 4th root. So now when I hit math and number 5, it's going to take the 4th root of whatever comes next. And I'm going to take the 4th root of 4, and there it is. Okay, so if you missed any of that stuff, you could follow along on the keypad history. I know that might be a little bit tough. There's a lot there. I'm going to clear that history now, and I'm just going to raise 4 to the 6th power. 4 to the 6th power. Now I'm going to use the caret. That's going to raise it to the 6th power, and the next thing is 6. Now in your calculator, it's going to show 4 and then caret, and then I think parentheses and then 6. But anyway, that's 4 to the 6th power. Enter. The next thing on our list is reciprocals. This is really important for us because sometimes I don't want 4 to the 6th power. I want the reciprocal of 4 to the 6th power. I want 4 to the negative 6 or something like that. If I want to flip that over, then I could just use this x to the negative 1 key. And that's going to take the reciprocal of that number. And it's going to give me the answer, and it's small enough that it's going to give it to me in scientific notation. So that means times 10 to the negative 4 which means move the decimal 4 places this way. So it becomes 0.000244. I'm going to jump to doing like the cosecant. We know the cosecant is 1 over the sine, so I'm going to hit the sine, and I'm going to take the sine of 5. Okay? If I hit enter, that gives me the sine of 5. But if I really wanted the cosecant of 5, which is 1 over the sine of 5, then now I could hit that x to the negative 1, and it's going to give me the answer of the cosecant of 5. If I wanted to do that in one line, I hit the sine of 5, close parentheses, x to the negative 1. Now that's going to take the sine of 5 and then flip it over. It's going to give me the cosecant of 5. So enter should give me the same answer. Okay, now we're going to look at the entry key in detail. Now up above the enter is the entry. It's in blue there. We're going to use that to edit a numerical expression. Let's see if I have this right here. Oh, it's over here. Okay, I have some expressions set up here. The first one is the tangent squared of this number, 24 divided by 5, and divided by 2 sine pi over 2. To enter that into the calculator, this is the same as the tangent of this thing squared divided by 2 times the sine of pi over 2. And that's how that would be entered into the calculator. Let's go ahead and do that. You should be following along with the calculator. Just enter that right into the calculator. I don't have it there. I want the tangent of 24 divided by 5. Now, you know, I didn't put the parentheses there, but it doesn't matter because it's going to take the tangent of this and square it. If I just put a square there, so I'm going to hit x squared. And now I'm going to divide. Now it's really important on the denominator to group that because this is multiplication and it needs to do that whole expression before it divides. So we use parentheses, 2 sine. The calculator knows that 2 sine is 2 times sine. Now pi, which is that blue pi right there, so I hit the second and then the caret, divided by 2. And let's close that bottom parenthesis. So that parenthesis that groups the whole bottom is there. Hit enter, and I have that value there. The next thing I want to do is something very similar. Look, that looks really similar to this. So do I need to enter the whole thing in again? No, if I could just edit this, if I could edit that expression, then I could get the expression in there. So I'm going to hit that entry key, that blue key there. So second, when I hit second, notice the up arrow shows me that the next thing it's going to accept is in blue, wherever that is. Here it is, entry, and I have it. So I go back up here where I want to change that 2 to a 30. I can hit the 3, it writes it over, but I can't hit the 0 because that's going to write over the sign. So I'm going to have to insert. So that's on the second function again. Over here by the delete key is INS, stands for insert. I'm going to insert a 0. Now I'm going to walk over to the next place, which is right there. It's the pi over 3 instead of pi over 2. Put a 3 in there. Now I have the function edited. It's ready to go. The third one, notice that that's the same as number 2, except I'm going to take the cube root of that. So I'm going to use math. 4 is the cube root. And now I want to put that expression in there. I can't use the entry key now, but I can use the answer key. The answer is going to take that answer, whatever's stored in there, and it's going to plug it in here. Now it's really important because I may want to keep more decimal places. I don't want to lose any accuracy here. So I'm going to use the answer, which if you see is down by the negative button there. So I hit second and the negative button. That gives me the answer. Enter. and that's the cube root of my answer. Okay, I have some practice problems prepared for you to try. So I want you to do these two problems, and when you get the answer, you could check back in the video to see what I have. So go ahead and do those while the video is paused. Okay, welcome back, and I hope you got these answers here. I have the two answers up. That's how you would enter them, the most straightforward way, I think. Just make sure you get those answers right. If you didn't, try it again. Anyway, that's the end of our lesson for today. Hope you learned everything you needed to, and we'll see you next time. Bye.